Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is RAMCCALL here. So, welcome to my journey to $1 million in monthly revenue for my business. For those of you that may not be familiar with what I'm doing right now, I'm basically just like documenting my little journey right here on YouTube as it pertains to currently two little websites that have ads running on them. And just so you're aware, going forward, as this revenue starts to increase, I do plan to begin expanding out into like other commodities like real estate, and then who knows what else, other kind of opportunities that'll open up. But anyways, I'm just gonna dive right into it. I'm gonna give off some brief inspirations and just get right to the point in terms of my Google Analytics, my revenue so far, and the overall increase in page views from last month. So as far as like inspiration goes, first off, Passive Income Geek, he's been really good. I initially found him on YouTube, and he has a completely free YouTube channel. You can just go on there and look at all of his videos, but he basically preaches like finding underserved topics on Google, meaning if you find like a forum post or something around a certain topic, then note that in the back of your mind to begin writing articles around that. And you'll quickly see that as you start to do that and essentially scale it up, then you'll start to get tens of thousands of page views. And he actually has a paid course that I'm a part of, but honestly, you could probably just get away with just looking at his YouTube for free and getting some pretty good insights. And then second off, below average blogger, this guy's name is Mike, and he finally found my YouTube channel. Shout out to Mike at Below Average Blogging. No, he's really cool, and he I think is like a former law enforcement officer as well as a military guy, so thank you for your service. And he actually started documenting his little journey a little over like a year and a half ago or so, and I just find it really interesting. No matter what stage in the process you're at, whether you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, not making anything per month, making whatever amount of revenue per month, I just find it really interesting to find different perspectives in terms of how people can go about this little business model right here. And with that being said, Passive Income Unlocked, these guys have, I think, a collection of like 5 or 6 websites. Last I checked, they were making like, they were making up until December like almost $50,000, and then within a few months after that, like January and February, the earnings basically you make on each page view is substantially lower. But basically, yeah, they were making like almost $50,000 per month off of like maybe a handful of websites. Basically, it's like over 1 million page views per month, essentially. But these guys are awesome, and they have their own kind of take on how they sort of structure all of their websites, as well as like keywords and stuff to get them ranking. But you also check them out. And then lastly, Growth Scouter. This guy hasn't really honestly made any videos, but I see him like chatting on the comments on some other YouTubers' videos. But this guy really inspired me because he basically front-loaded like almost 2,000 articles on one single website and got it like basically all the way up to 1 million page views per month within like less than a year. And last video he had uploaded, he was essentially making like 20K a month. So I don't know about you, that's pretty crazy, in a good way though. But if Growth Scouter happens to be listening, or if anybody knows this guy, I'd really like to see an update from him, just because he's really interesting to listen to. So getting right down into it. So this is website 1. I have 2 websites in this little presentation right now. So this website, and both of them, by the way, were basically created at around the same time, and I started adding content to them at around the same time. But this website has experienced its kind of hockey stick growth, if you will. So I think last month I was up from around like 22,000 or something page views, and now it's all the way up past 34,000 page views, which in my opinion is pretty impressive. And throughout the week, it's almost getting to around 2,000 visitors per day. And then it kind of averages out to about 1,000 visitors per day. If you divide all 7 days by the total for the 7 days, it comes out to like right above, I think, 1,000 plus visitors a day. Time on page, I'd say, is about average, about 4.5, almost 5 minutes. And apparently that's really good. But one of my main things I'm considering for this website is to continue to scale it up, because it has about almost 100% US traffic coming to it. And that is very valuable for any type of advertisements to be placed on your website. And Google Search Console is still climbing back up every month, and I'm almost at 2 million impressions now. So hopefully, as time goes on, the impressions will start to climb, the clicks, the average click-through rate, the average position. It's honestly kind of like the click-through rate and the average position have honestly kind of stayed the same overall, but it definitely is increasing month over month. I can tell you that, which is a good sign to see. And speaking of increasing month over month, so I actually was added to Ezoic Premium, which for those of you that may not be familiar, Ezoic is like this ad platform. That's probably not the right word for it, but it basically allows you to put ads on your website for not that much of an investment at all. You just integrate your website with their system, and you can just get like a Google Chrome extension and start clicking around on your website, put placeholders for the ads, and then it has some pretty robust, in my opinion, analytic features that you can do, as well as machine learning to kind of optimize the ads on your website. But a lot of it is a little hands-on, so if you're not too familiar with like the correct ad placements, I wouldn't really worry about it. Just use Ezoic and then wait until you can have like the necessary page views that would allow you to go into Mediavine or AdThrive, for example. But anyways, I got into Ezoic Premium, and it skyrocketed my earnings somewhat, and my EPMV is also starting to increase as well towards the $20 per 1,000 visitors. And for those of you that are kind of thinking right now, I understand that you have to pay money for Ezoic Premium, but as long as you can kind of make your money back plus some, then I think it's a win-win until you can kind of just buy your time until you can pull your website off of Ezoic and then back onto Mediavine or AdThrive for substantially more revenue potential. So second website, this one is actually starting to pick up steam, and someone had asked me in actually Passive Income Geeks private forum, is there any actual evidence to support my claim of when I took this website off of Ezoic so it doesn't have ads right now? Is there anything that I have that can prove that my page views started to increase? And outside of my experience, it was actually last month that I had pulled this website, I think, off of Ezoic. My experience, as well as another guy called Passive Priority. And by the way, I should probably add him to my inspiration list. He's a pretty cool guy. But both he and I'm sure there's probably some others, took our websites off of Ezoic and just said, you know what, I don't really care about marginal income right now. I'm just going to let this thing sit until it crosses like 60,000 page views to where I could put it on a Mediavine and then see where it can go in terms of revenue. So that being said, the page views essentially have almost doubled, and now per day on a daily basis, the website is almost getting to like 1,000 page views within, I guess, like 6 months or so of me front loading about 300 articles. And I haven't touched this website since like a couple months ago. So the page views are still continuing to increase, while the total article count is only at about like 330. So all this to be said, I think once I get website number 1 onto one of the more premium ad networks, then I'm going to start coming back to this website and then getting it up to speed as well. And what's even more exciting is the growth trajectory on this one. I mean, if you look at kind of the where it says 1 right there, that little gray circle on the right, and if you take a look at where it says like 2/19, so middle of February essentially, I think that's around the time when I took it off of Ezoic and just kind of put it on my own CDN, or content delivery network. And then as you can see, I mean, this thing just doesn't really have any kind of seasonality to it, it seems, at all. And the clicks as well as the impressions just keep on climbing. And then lastly, I'm going to make this video nice and quick for y'all. So I actually wasn't able to include from where I started this case study, but if you look at the top, that's 11/31, so end of November. I started front loading a lot of the content by end of October, so basically Halloween of 2021. That being said, I only have I think 5 or 6 months on here worth of progress, but that's just because I couldn't really fit it on this one screen. So I may start reformatting it going forward. But if you look at the total page views, so you go to page views as well as article count. So I basically have gone from 10,841 page views all the way up to now almost 50,000 page views within the span of about 4 to 5 months. So this is all this to be said, my total article count has gone from basically almost 400 articles to 800 plus articles. And you can quickly see that as you start to add the right kind of volume of content to your website, then, eventually the page views will just start compounding on themselves. So I do anticipate a lot of these page views, particularly for website 1 and 2, well, both websites, honestly, to keep climbing in their potential. And then as well, the revenue is right at about $500 per month, which is, $500 per month just about. And to me, that's pretty exciting. And again, I do have plans very soon to begin adding substantially more content to website 1. So my current goal right now is to just get 1,000 articles on a website 1 and then reassess where I'm at. And at that point, if I'm able to have it onto Mediavine or AdThrive, then I may try to top off website 2 as well to over 1,000 articles. So anyways, one of the main call outs for this month, the month of March, is the fact that basically it's gone from 3,000, you can't see it up here, but 3,000 at the end of October to now almost 50,000 page views within a relatively short time frame of about 6 months. So I'm just going to keep on cranking it out, and I hope that this can serve as some inspiration for any bloggers out there. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the chat. Be happy to get back to you. And honestly, you don't even have to be a blogger. Just I hope this can inspire other people out there that are watching in terms of becoming more financially independent, because I don't know about you, but working a 9 to 5 is great and all, but if you can take charge of your own financial future with something like this that, in my opinion, requires very little upfront investment as well as maintenance, then that can really kind of open your eyes and open your potential in terms of things you want to be able to do throughout your life. So anyways, I'll get off my little tangent. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.